So this is the antique mirror frame that I'm starting with. And the plan is we're going to remove the hanging wire, and I've already cleaned it up a bit. I'll sand out the back a bit. I think there are a couple of nails that I want to get rid of. And then I will hit the highlights with, this is just a basic acrylic metallic paint. It's nothing fancy, nothing special. I've got a couple of sponge brushes. I shouldn't say it's nothing fancy. It actually does the trick really well. It's, what is this? Deco Art Dazzling Metallics. Well, there you go. It's dazzling. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to take this off, take those nails out, and sand out this 100-year-old paper just a little bit. So I am spacing and measuring where I want to cut the angles. If you have a square frame or a rectangular frame, you're not going to have to worry about that. But because I have the oval, I'm going to need angles cut on each end of these slats. I'm measuring the distance between them as my longest pair of earrings plus a little bit. So very precise. My longest pair of earrings plus a little bit turned out to be 4.5 inches. From the bottom of the slat above, I measure 4.5 inches to the top of the slat below. I haven't finished, so I may have to wiggle them just a little bit to make sure everything's even. But so far it's going really well. I wanted to let you know these slats are not the kind of thing that you find at the hardware store. Believe me, I tried. They're wood. That's where I thought they'd be. Turns out you get them at the hobby store. You want a hobby store, a craft store that sells models. You know, the kind that you put together and you paint and they're like tanks or airplanes or whatever. That's where these are. And at the craft store where I went, there were 2 different types of wood, the same measurement and thickness of the pieces, but 2 different types. One was balsa and this one was a harder wood. Whatever that harder wood is that they're offering, that's what you want. So that's where we are. I'm going to finish measuring out and fiddling, and then we'll get on with the painting and staining. And I'm probably going to cut these angles off screen and just number them so I know which is which. Okay, so you've just seen a sped up version of me doing all the things to get to this point. And you can see I've freshened up the gold. You can see the brush strokes. I was going for sort of a rustic glamour. Hopefully that's all in camera. I've been having some trouble keeping things where they can be seen while I'm working on them. So that is dry to the touch but not cured. Same with the slats, which I've stained this dark color, which matches another batch of displays that I'm making. So it's stained on 3 sides. I still have to do the 4th side once this side is cured. And that's where we are. I'm going to set everything aside, just let it cure. So it's time to finish this up. And I'm going to get those slats in and let them cure. And then I'm going to get on with making the hooks that will be custom made by me for those slats. So here we are, a brand new day. The slats that I stained yesterday have cured overnight. I gave them a light brush over with a sanding sponge just to, when you get the wood grain wet, some little splinters from the cutting process are going to raise up. No problem, just knock them down. And I'm ready to go. I'll be honest with you, I had intended to use construction adhesive around the edge because I thought that was the most durable thing that I could think of. But when I got into the situation, the freaking thing would not open and would not proceed properly, and now it's under pressure, so God knows if I open it now, it's gonna everywhere. So we are going for wood glue. Because I love wood glue, it never does me wrong. I don't have any kind of a brand sponsorship. This is just I've got Gorilla wood glue. But if you have a favorite, use your favorite. If you don't have a favorite, just use a good one. That's all I've got for you. So I will go ahead and do the business and check back in with you in a minute. So here we are. For the straps, I used the hooks that were already in the back, and I put clips on the other end. Let me show you. There they are, tucked into the back on the grid panel. And the very last step, because for the life of me I couldn't find hooks that actually did what I wanted them to do and fit around the slats and were secure, I made them myself. I used stainless steel. It's dead soft stainless steel craft wire. I think it's 20 gauge, 22 gauge. Oh, there it is. It says it on there. 22 gauge. And I doubled it. Let me show you the hook again. I doubled it at this point, bent it over. I used a nail to twist the wire, and then I wrapped it around, and you can't see, but I've curved the edge under in the back so you don't get your fingers injured every time you touch the back of your display. So 100% truly done. There she is. Let me know if you have questions below. I'm Allison White from WhyteWing.com, and thanks for hanging out with me while I did this. If you enjoyed this content, like and subscribe, and the gods of YouTube will show you more of it. I'm Allison White from WhyteWing.com, and I appreciate you hanging out with me.